the great Palestinian Syrian scholar, نسبة لنابلس في فلسطين نشأ وتوفي في دمشق. That's Dimashq, Philistine, حاجة واحدة. So, his fatwa, because he was in the latter 18th century, cigarettes were new amongst the Muslims, he didn't know about the medical harm, he said it's makruh. And so people repeated that fatwa. Now that the medical harm is known, virtually every qualified Islamic scholar says it's haram. Almost universally, the ulama of Sham, the ulama of Saudi Arabia, all of the Wahhabi scholars says haram. All of the scholars of Sham now, have you heard of the Azhar fatwa? Azhar last month issued a fatwa declaring smoking haram. So we'll see if they hold fast when Philip Morris sends their delegation to Azhar. Hey, we could renovate Azhar. You know, this would be the Philip Morris Memorial Manuscript Library over here. And we'll give you $2 million for a new mansion for the Sheikh of Azhar and Pepsi. So the Azhar now has a fatwa saying smoking is haram. Tell all your smoking relatives, that's haram. And say, Al-Azhar said it's haram. And they'll say, Man al-Azhar. Nas'al Allah al-afiyah. Who's Azhar? They say, Azhar said it's makruh. Really? They say it's haram now. Who's Azhar? Azhar Jamal Abdul Nasir, Kharrab al-Azhar, Abdul Nasir. Well, alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. So we'll stop here. Next week, having dealt with these preliminary things, is one more preliminary thing we're going to do. We're going to read about Imam Shafi'i, rahimahullah, wa nafa'ana bihi wa bikum ajma'in, and about Imam Ibn Naqib al-Masri, the author of this book, and Imam Rafi'i and Imam al-Nawawi, whose scholarship the book is based on, because Umdat al-Salik, which has been gathered by Ahmed Ibn Naqib al-Masri, is based on those rulings, and this is considered one of the strongest books in the Shafi'i school, that Imam Nawawi and Rafi'i agreed on, or where they differ, the preference given to Imam al-Nawawi, or where Imam Nawawi had no opinion related by Imam Rafi'i. So Imam Nawawi and Imam Rafi'i, their scholarship is essential for this book, Umdat al-Salik. So we'll read about Imam al-Shafi'i, we'll read about Imam Ibn Naqib al-Masri, and we'll read about Imam Nawawi and Imam al-Rafi'i in descending chronological order, and Imam al-Nawawi, inshallah. Then we'll start with the book of Tahara, inshallah. So any questions? Yes.
Where does music fall in this?
Music falls from here to here. They're right in here, mubah. Mubah is the best opinion. No one is mentioned as getting a reward or encouraged to engage in music, nor forbidden from it based on the proof that the Prophet ﷺ himself sit and listen to the Abyssinians with Aisha, shielding her in his cloak, sallallahu alaihi wasallam radiallahu anha, until she became bored. Then he left on the Eid day, watching them sing and play their duff and dance in the courtyard of the masjid. So, and there are other instances when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam came to Medina. What did the Sahaba do? They all got together and sang, Tala al-Badru alayna, Tala al-Badru alayna. In Sahih Bukhari, the Prophet mentioned sallallahu alaihi wasallam that the Ansar loved to sing. So at their weddings, people should sing. So there are many proofs, and then the drums at wartime and celebrations, the duff. And so the best opinion is that it's permissible. Then there are opinions that certain instruments are forbidden. Some opinions is highly desirable at times of festivities, Eid and weddings. So there are a variety of opinions. The soundest, as long as it doesn't involve lyrics that convey an un-Islamic message, vulgar, lewd, defamatory, blasphemous lyrics, and as long as the instruments are not involving something directly forbidden by the Prophet ﷺ. And then there's different opinions on what instruments are forbidden. Some say, for example, the flute. Some say string instruments, which are mentioned by a certain text. Others say that those are permissible and that those weren't absolute prohibitions. Some say those are makruh. So there's various rulings. If you want a detailed discussion of that, go to the bookstore, buy a Seasons magazine, because there's an article on music in there. Yeah, I had Seasons and I didn't notice that. So I'm advertising Seasons. So there's a very nice article by the wife of Dr. Ismail Faruqi, Lamia al-Faruqi, who was also assassinated when he was assassinated in their suburban Philadelphia home back in the early 80s. So she has a very nice article on music. I would encourage you to read that. Khat, like the Somalis and Yemenis chew, is haram. That's why in Hadramaut they don't chew it. That's more in Sana'a, parts of Somalia, Kenya, that whole kind of Yemeni orbit, because the Yemenis were instrumental in propagating Islam in the whole Indian Ocean basin. So a lot of their culture, dress, headgear, khat, kind of spread between those people. But it's haram because it's an intoxicant. It's clearly an intoxicant. Some people consider it a narcotic. So it's not a habit appropriate for Muslims. Any other questions? Right. No, mubahat a Muslim should avoid. These are the rulings, but in terms of the appropriateness. So makruh, you're not punished for doing it, but it's something you should leave, and leaving it, you're rewarded. Mubahat, part of the conspiracy, how shaitan conspires against the human being, he tries to get us to engage in the haram. If he can, he doesn't give up. He tries to get us to engage in the makruh. Why? Because when we're engaging in the makruh, we're leaving the opportunity to use that time doing something that could earn us a reward. So we're not punished, but if we left it, we're rewarded. So if he can get us to engage in it, he gets us to miss a reward. If he can't get us with makruh, he gets us to engage in mubah. Because mubah, there's no reward for us during that time. So if we spend 2 hours watching television, so we're watching all these Flipper reruns, because Flipper, no sex, no violence, just Flipper, a nice dolphin, kids love him. So 2 hours, 3 hours watching these old Flipper reruns. That's 3 hours we could have been reading Quran. And every letter we read in Quran, ashra hasanat. So by getting us to indulge excessively in the mubah, he's getting us to miss an opportunity for reward. Quran, kulla harf hasana. La takun alif lam mim harf, walakin alif harf wa lam harf wa mim harf wal hasanatu bi ashri amthaliha. So on the day of judgment, we might end up with a deficit because of the time we missed earning rewards for ourselves. So shaitan says, yes, got him, got her. Because our scale is light with good deeds. So even though mubah, we're not earning any punishment, no bad deeds, no sayyi'at, but we're missing the opportunity for hasanat. So that's from the conspiracy of shaitan against the human being. فنعوذ بالله منه ونسأل الله العافية. فنقف هنا, we stop here. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وعملا متقبلا خالصا لوجهك الكريم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا.